All right. A few of these come in every year. This one is a small one, 19-inch Lawn Boy. The guy who owns it is a co-worker of mine, an old co-worker of mine. I remember I've told you many times there used to be 500 of us in my city that worked for, or in the city and area that worked for our company, and now there's about 70. So when this first came in, the customer told me that the spark plug had been stripped out, and at the time when it came in, the on-off switch was just bigger than this hole and was just flopping out. So I did move the on-off switch over to, let me just get you right in there, over to the side of the shroud, and that's as far as I've gotten. I do know one more thing, that the primer lead is snapped right off, and it's so hard it's just like it's like a piece of metal. So I think we're going to have problems with the carburetor, because it looks like if you turn this upside down, the actual carburetor piece is there. So that's as far as we've gone. It has a spark, but we have a stripped spark plug hole, and the primer boss is broken off. So let's get it up in the air and get it to the point where you can look at it. Here we go. And let's see if we can get the cover off. We'll start there. We'll use Bob's tray. So I want to try and do two things. This is a little touchy on a two-stroke because you can't take the head off. I want to thread a new insert into the spark plug hole. So this should just come off now, I hope. Oh yeah, fuel line. I'm going to close the gas tank, pull the fuel line up, and there we go. We will just lay this down over here somewhere, nice and neat and flat. There we go. Okay, which one do we attack first? You guys are probably itching to see what's underneath that spark plug though, eh? So, what size is it? Oh, that's right, I changed it to an RJ8. That's all it was, holding that spark plug in there. So this is the spark plug I threaded into the last one thread. And these are the spark plugs that belong in it. And you can see that the Lawn Boy thread is just a smaller reach than the RJ8. Oh, yeah, the RJ8 reaches just a tiny bit further. So now, let's get a light. And we'll get you right in there and show you those stripped spark plug threads. So right there, you can see at the back, there's one thread left. So the difficulty with doing this on a two-stroke is that you just can't take the head off, set it in a vise and bore out the old thread for an insert. So if this was a regular, like a Briggs & Stratton thread, you could put the head in a vise, right? And use, this is the thread of the spark plug, right? And it threads in, and then it threads a bigger thread for the insert that goes in there. And then the insert that goes in there is sets back in. How can I say this? I am so bad. Okay, so that's the spark plug thread, right? Hard to believe I can't speak and I have a YouTube channel. So the spark plug is going to thread into this. This is going to thread into the new threads of the what we bore out of the machine, and then once this is sitting in the cylinder, we use this tapping, which expands that out and grabs the edge of the cylinder, and it's done. All right, this is for demo purposes only. This is off of a 4-stroke motor, Briggs & Stratton 4-stroke motor. It's a cylinder head, right? And if you had a stripped spark plug hole on a Briggs & Stratton or any other aluminum head, you could put it into the vise. Still put some grease on here because you don't want the filings going everywhere, or cutting oil or whatever. And you would start at the top, you thread this in just like the one on the 2-stroke, but now you don't have to worry about where the shavings go. So after you've done your thread cutting, right, and you go further in with the wider threads, you can just rinse this off with solvent, get rid of the fine aluminum shavings because they're not going to drop into the cylinder. So this is just a short little video to show you how much easier a 4-stroke would be. Worst case scenario would be replacing the head gasket, which is not expensive. But the problem with a 2-stroke is the head doesn't come off, right? So I'm sorry you have to look at that sideways. Maybe we can come in like that. It's all one piece. And if you bring the cylinder back too far and you get shavings in the cylinder, the shavings will go into the crankcase, because on a 2-stroke the gas is sucked in from the carburetor into the crankcase through a passageway and then into the head, and every stroke the cylinder sucks in new gas and is fired. That's why they call them a 2-stroke, not a 4-stroke. So now I'm going to just turn you off until I get ready. We want the cylinder to be past that passageway where it draws the gas from the carburetor, but still open to where the muffler exits. Unfortunately, with a lawnmower, the muffler comes out the bottom of the machine. Can you believe that? Isn't that nuts? Right there. So I am going to do my very, very best using grease on the thread putter inner, the dual thread spark plug repair kit. There we go. So I'm just going to turn you off, get some grease, and we're going to start this. Because if this isn't successful, the carburetor repair is not going to be successful. Do you guys know how long I've had this? I've been here 29 years in this house, and I bought this probably 5 years before I moved into here. Wheel bearing grease, WB. And I've done a really, really diligent job of making sure there's no contaminants in this. When you have a large can of grease like that, you have to be very, very careful. So the whole trick to this is to grease this up so that when we go into the cylinder and we go a quarter of a turn at a time or a half a turn at a time and take it out, that all of the shavings get stuck to the grease and nothing goes inside. So right now I'm going to just check to make sure that the cylinder is, maybe I'll use the blade. There we go. There's the blade. Did you hear that? Okay, that's top dead center. bottom, and then we're going to come back to top. But we're going to need at least that much to thread into it. It's all kind of iffy. So I'm going to try my best to grease this up, and we're going to do it. This is from my friend Vern. Great guy. He does leather sewing. If you can imagine that, eh? Okay. So do you guys get what I'm trying to do here, eh? And now it should thread in pretty good because there's 1 or 2 threads left. Let's get a little piece of wood. We don't need Dave Ackerman's jack. If you guys are regular subscribers to me, this is what I want you to do. I would love it if you went to Dave Ackerman 1967. If you went to his channel, I will put a link on the bottom of this video in the comment section. So, and you know, that guy has been making videos for a while, not a long time, and his videos are fantastic. He works really hard at it. He's out on the flatland somewhere. Someone said you could see the curvature of the earth from his driveway. But he is a really nice guy. His kids are all great, responsible kids. And Dave Ackerman, 1967. If you guys went there and subscribed, that would be just so cool, because he is really a good guy. One of those dry sense of humors, right? Me, I babble on, but he's got a dry sense of humor. Okay, I'm going to start threading this in. Start backwards first until it feels right. I want to get it started without cross-threading anything, eh? Yeah, I can see the 2 threads there. I think that's it. I've already worn a hole in my glove. Okay, let's try this. I'm going to go about one or 2 turns first, and then we'll take it out and see how it looks. We'll go until we hit the second set of threads. Here, we're cutting threads now. Okay, let's take this out. See how it looks. I like it. I'm going to wipe all the grease off of this. And put some fresh grease on. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Can you guys see what I'm doing, eh? You want to zoom in a little bit? I think it's my pinky. It's the only finger that has no grease on it. Okay, let's try that. Whoop. I felt it hit the piston. Okay, I think she's all the way through, guys. Let me have a look with the light. No? Okay, I'm going to take it out. Starting to feel like something's threaded. Yes, and there's pieces of metal there, right? And a fresh rag, wipe it off. It's kind of a win-win, eh? Because there's no, it's already screwed up. It's like my old saying, if it's broken, you can't break it. Okay, let's add some more grease. I hope that we're not putting any filings into the cylinder. We'll try and blow them out after. That's what air is for. Okay, let's see what we got here. Please have patience. Lord, grant me patience, but hurry. Huh. And there we go. Need more rags. You need a different glove. Okay, where is my 19 silly meter? Now we're cutting the big threads. I'm doing it like a tap now. Making sure we're not hitting the piston. Okay, I'm going to take it all the way out now and have a look. Yeah. Okay, look. We're getting lots of cuttings. That was what I wanted, but it's also my fear. And we should be seeing bigger threads happening. Yes, we are, but not very many. Okay, I see 3 threads on the new one. Good. Just got to hold your lips right. Hey, I'm going to cut 3 or 4 revolutions on this one this time, as soon as I feel it's set. Okay, there we are. I'm almost tempted to get a bigger ratchet. Let's do that. Are you guys still watching? Yes, sirree, Bob. Okay, now we've got some leverage or leverage, depends on where you're from. Okay, I'm going to back it out. Just a couple of turns. There we go. And we're going back in. So we hit at 3 o'clock, we'll say. This thing's sticking into the cylinder quite a ways, eh? 3 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Boy, I gotta have a look, guys. I gotta have a look. All right, we have threads cut all the way. And look at the mess on that. Woohoo! I haven't had this much fun in a long time. I think we have threaded that all the way in. That's really cool. Now, I'm going to bring the cylinder up a little bit, and I'm going to blow in here. I want it to feel it, see if I can feel it coming out of the muffler. Right there. There we are. I'm getting air blowing through there. But not into the crankcase. Now I'm going to use the tool that I used to cut the threads with to put this sleeve on, and hopefully we can get it threaded in. It's just not feeling right, and I don't want to force anything, right? I think it's the beginning of the thread right here. Okay, now I'm re-threading it in again. I got it crooked the first time. So hopefully this backs out once I get it in. I don't want to go too deep, right? Okay, let's take it out. I think it's going to stay. All right. That's what we end up with. Look at the filings I've got around there. But that's okay, they're on the outside. So now, I'll take you back out. And we'll do the next piece. Which is the scary part to me. Well, it's all scary, eh? You're dealing with the survival of a machine. You take this, you stick it in here, and you knock those little threaded guys out into the edge of the cylinder to hold it. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to take it off the wood, and we're going to give ourselves a little bit of room here. I'm going to hit it. Okay, no time like now. I'm going to bring it up here. I've got a little bit of solidness. Solidness? Okay, you ready? Can you guys see me? Kind of, eh? Put the issue in the center of the screen. We're recording. This is fun. Scary but fun. I think that's good enough. Let's just thread a spark plug in there and see if we got compression. And now we will see if the spark plug spins. Well, it's there. And done. Now, before we put the carburetor on, I'm going to risk it. I'm going to take this spark plug out, and I'm going to just do a peen or two. You'll see what I mean by a peen. To hold that threaded insert in just a little bit better. So let's see if we can get the spark plug out without too much fight. This is the whole key right here. Beautiful. Unless the insert comes with it, right? No. There we go. And I'm just going to peen around the edge, but not on the threads. I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'll get right in there, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to just take my punch and just peen on the edge there and maybe there so that this won't come out. Now, yeah, I might be in the way when I do this because it takes all my concentration, right? And right there. Oh, that's perfect. And right. That's it. Just two. There. Do you see? Well, maybe we can zoom in on her. Yes. There and there. Just a small amount of insurance. So now I'm going to put the spark plug back in, and this part of the video is over. But I'm going to still do the carburetor, which I'll show you in the next video. I got to split it up.